Hey guys. Um, so I know I talked about the whole DeAndre Hopkins trade a few days ago and what my thoughts on it were, but after I've had time to sit back and understand the trade, there are a whole lot of things that annoy me and I know frustrate Texans fans. Not just with this trade, but all the trades we've been doing recently. I think ever since the Deshaun Watson trade, the Texans have been really trade happy, whereas they weren't before, or at least not to this extent. Um, I mean, you look at it. This is the second off season in a row now where we have traded a former first round pick who has played at or above um, their draft rating, their draft grade, whatever you call it, and we have not gotten a single first round pick back for them. You look at the Jadeveon Clowney trade, we got fleeced on that one too, but Texans fans kind of let it go because I mean Jadeveon Clowney, he was good, but I mean he was really good, but we kind of I think the general consensus is was that we could still function pretty well without him. But looking at our secondary, that's where the biggest problem lies. Also, Jacob Martin in a few games this year looked like a really good replacement for Jadeveon Clowney. I'm not saying he's better or even as good as Jadeveon Clowney. There are just times he really comes on and makes a big play, and um, really, that's all we kind of need from that position. You look at the Texans, our linebacker depth, outside and inside. We have pretty good, solid backers, but they're not great. They're just I would say McKinney and Zach Cunningham are really good, but then we have nice budget players like Dylan Cole and Brendan Scarlett who play pretty well given their roles, and they play really well in their specific roles. Um, but getting back to the whole Hopkins trade, what I'm starting to realize is Bill O'Brien is running this team like Bill Belichick runs the Patriots, which is we're not gonna pay the high name players. We're not going to overpay for them. Heck, a lot of the time we probably aren't even going to pay them at value. Um, so Bill O'Brien is trying to do what Bill Belichick was doing, or is doing, or has done. But there's one major thing you need to do before you can not pay the big name players and expect them to still play for you. You have to win. It's just as simple as that. And you look at the Texans, despite us winning the division, the AFC South division, for the majority of the time that Bill O'Brien has been the head coach of the Texans, we are the only team in that time span to have not gotten to an AFC championship game. So the Jacksonville Jaguars have gone, the Colts have gone, and the Titans just went. So when you look at those statistics, you have to pay for the big name players. That's like the Miami Dolphins saying, we're not even going to pay for the big name players. We're just going to rest on our laurels and see what happens. Which you see the Dolphins are going in a completely different direction where they just went and spent a whole ton of money on the high end guys in this free agency period, which is kind of something they have to do. They have to do something major so that their team is competitive next year. And you look at who they're probably going to draft. It's probably going to be a quarterback. They're probably going to give up on Josh Rosen. I've been saying Josh Rosen has been overrated for years. I think he did little to elevate a UCLA Bruins football team. Um, a lot of his signature wins when he was playing for the Bruins were against teams that kind of haven't been like powerhouse or even that good in the college football arena or like the college football scene for a few years now. You look at his statement win. I think a big one is his statement win over, I think, University of Texas. University of Texas has been struggling for like a few seasons now. Um, they're starting to get better now, but back when he played them on the Bruins, they were still like not a bad college football team, but they've been struggling for a while. But yeah, so when you look at it, I've been thrown off topic. So when you look at what the Texans are getting in return for these high value high value players, you're realizing they're getting fleeced all the time. And then, not only that, what I don't understand is you give up 2 first-round picks for Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills. Essentially, there was some other stuff in the deal, but essentially it was 2 first-rounders for and other picks for Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills, which, if I remember well, Laramie Tunsil has yet to sign an extension or re-sign with the Texans. So when it's all said and done, if we don't get a deal done with Laramie Tunsil, we may have actually given up 2 first-rounders for a 1-year rental in Kenny Stills. Kenny Stills is not a number 1 receiver on any team. I love Kenny Stills. I think he's a number 2 receiver on a good team. I think on a great team, he's a 3 receiver or a really good slot receiver. I like his skill set, but he's just not that. You're not going to throw it to him in double coverage and expect him to come down with it. You're not going to expect him to break someone's ankles running a route. But what he does have is pretty good speed, where he can break away and find himself open on a lot of the routes like slants or post, stuff like that, where he's a pretty sure-handed receiver most of the time. But yeah, if you look at it, we're giving away first-round picks for an offensive lineman and a third receiver. But then for the best receiver in the league, well, I'll give him top 3 receiver. He's usually in the conversation, whatever. For a top receiver in the league, we're getting David Johnson in the 2nd round pick. Which, mind you, the Texans do not have a first rounder in 2020's draft. We haven't had a first round pick since, what was it? Was it 2017? Maybe, I think it was 2017 was the last time we had a first round pick. And it's just baffling to me that we just keep trading ourselves into this hole, and then we're creating a kind of draft hell for ourselves. Like, you look at what we did last year in the draft. Our highest pick was Lonnie Johnson, who looked great at times, but then also looked terrible. I felt so bad for him in the divisional round where he had to cover Travis Kelce. Like, it sucks when your team says, okay, you're a rookie cornerback who was drafted in the 2nd round. You you're new to the scene. We haven't been giving you a whole bunch of playing time recently, but how about you go out and cover one of the best, if not the best, tight end in the league right now? How about you go ahead and do that? It would be a whole different ball game if the Texans traded away DeAndre Hopkins, somehow got like maybe 2 first-round picks or maybe a first-round pick in 2 seconds, or first round, a second, and a fourth, or something like that. And then we somehow flip that first-round pick into CeeDee Lamb or something. That would be a whole different thing. But going into the 2020 season, if we're to go right now without the draft, our receivers are looking like Will Fuller 1, Stills 2, QT, who hasn't been getting a whole bunch of playing time even when he's healthy, at the 3, and I think Dwayne Carter at the 4. And Will Fuller is going to get injured. So if the season started tomorrow, Kenny Stills would probably be if the season started without the draft, Kenny Stills would probably be our number 1 receiver within weeks. Holy crap. I don't know when that even happened. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm just gonna go talk to the plants now. How did we get here? Um, I'm 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 almost thinking that this might be my last um, video doing it in this setting. My last TiMonster Talks to Plants segment. Um, it's been cool. Uh, my campus is gonna soon shut down a lot of their buildings entirely, so I won't have access to see the blossoming that you guys do. Um, it's been real. I know it's been jokes, uh, but I've been glad to be able to make these videos and create them. Uh, it's been kind of like easy to make these videos, in the sense that I don't have to work so much on exporting, or not exporting, editing the videos. It's a little bit of work, but it's something that I can be done within 30 minutes, and um, I'm sad that it's done so soon. But with the whole COVID-19 crisis, we need to take the necessary precautions, and unfortunately, that means I won't be able to breathe my CO2 on you guys for much longer. Uh, yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. Stay safe out there. Yeah, man.